Hi guys, thanks for being here. Let me preface by saying this is probably so unique and different than anything you've ever seen. We are attempting to use technology and to bridge tradition, a very traditional sport in horse racing. So today I'm going to talk to you about how we're using blockchain or technology to do that, and how you can get involved in Morning Line Club, what Morning Line Club is, how it works, and why blockchain. So without anything further, let me continue here. So first of all, what Morning Line Club is. So it's an investment club for racehorse investors. And what we're trying to set out to do is create a new emerging alternative asset class. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Masterworks for art or Vint for wine. Morning Line Club is that for horses. So, this is a $400 billion global industry that people have no idea about. That's horse racing in general. And with the Morning Line Club, we're allowing you to invest in the career of a horse rather than just bet on a 2-minute race. And we're using blockchain technology to make it more efficient and transparent, and I'll get to that in a minute here. So essentially, what we have created is, like I said, the investment club, which has a proprietary secondary marketplace, which is an ATS, an alternative trading system that is registered and approved with the SEC to trade digital securities on the blockchain. So how does it work? So first of all, you buy an entry fee with Morning Line Club starting at $1,000. Then and there's 5,000 entry fees available in the first club, so a total of $5 million in the first fund. What happens then is we go and purchase a portfolio of horses. So we will buy up to 50 horses, and we will be buying, I don't know if you guys are familiar with, but yearlings, so baby horses, but also horses that are on the track. So we'll be buying into horses that are already proven so that we get instant action right away. So then what happens is after we purchase those horses, each horse is fractionalized into 10,000 racing shares and 10,000 breeding shares. Those shares are fungible tokens, which are on the Avalanche blockchain. So every time, and each entry fee that's purchased is guaranteed 2 racing shares and 2 breeding shares in every single horse in the portfolio. So now you've got your shares, you set up your account. Every time one of our horses runs, you get to share, as an owner of those racing shares, 80% of the purses. So if we win $100,000 on the track, right, on the race, you get $80,000 that we're sharing collectively with all the racing share owners pro rata on a horse-by-horse basis. And the same goes for breeding, which is very interesting because if anyone knows anything about racing or horse racing, breeding is very lucrative, and that's where the real money is made. And so what we do is we share 50% of the breeding on an annual basis with the owners of the breeding shares. And what's so cool is that with the ATS, those racing shares and those breeding shares can then go on our secondary marketplace, and you can trade and sell and collect and buy and manage your own portfolio of thoroughbreds, which is really, really unique and different in the space. And so we've got quite a bit of, the technology involved here is going to transform and revolutionize this horse racing industry. And we're very excited to be able to bring new owners into the game. And then what we've also done too, which is really interesting, is we've gamified the whole experience, right? So every dollar spent, every dollar earned on the platform, you're going to be earning rewards and points on the Morning Line Club ecosystem. So there's a whole leaderboard and there's points, and so you want to compete against your friends to see who has the best portfolio. But then more importantly, I think, is we have different status levels, right? So it goes from bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond. And then as you rise the ranks in the club, you get to open up opportunities on the track. So if you want box seats, you want paddock passes, you want to go to the races, you want to have lunch, dinner with the jockey, you want to have interactions with the horses, you can do all of that. only for a fraction of the cost of literally the buy-in of $1,000. So, and then that's how it works. So what I'll show you now here is the marketplace that we created. This is really, really interesting. So if you'll see here, every horse on the platform has an asset page, okay? So the data room and the pedigree and the form, the workout. So you've got your overview. That kind of gives you an overview of, you know, what the horse's name is, who's training the horse, how much ownership Morning Line Club has in the horse. We've got all of the forms, so past races, past performances, statistics of how the horse is performing. We've got news and updates. We've got pedigree. Pedigree is obviously very, very important from an investment standpoint, right? So you want to know who the mom is, who the dad is, because you want to see how those horses have performed in the past to see how that horse is going to perform now, which ultimately dictates, you know, your investment or your return on investment. The pedigree is going to be interactive, which is really neat. So you click on, for example, Churchill, and you'll see all of Churchill's statistics and how well it fared on the track and how much money it's earned as a sire himself and things like that. The news and updates, so every time a horse, you know, performs, or we've got some, you know, big race it won or something like that, all of those news and updates will be posted there. And there's the discussion board. So you as the investors and in the community, you can all talk to one another and you can decide, hey, I like this horse, I don't like this horse. And you can decide, you know, or make trades happen right on the site there. So, and then what's really, I'll point to the last picture over there. On the left-hand side is a ticker symbol. So every horse on the platform will have its own ticker symbol. This one was Love Tempo. And each horse will have two order books, a buy order book, or sorry, a racing share order book and a breeding share order book. And you can see then the value of those shares of the horse simply is dictated on how it performs on the track and also what someone's willing to pay for it. So why blockchain, right? So obviously we looked at a lot of different things because what we set out to do, like I said, is create this new alternative asset class. But why blockchain and why use this form of technology opposed to like an Amazon AWS or a Google iCloud? Well, we looked at it and we said, listen, the tokenization of securities, it simplifies the trading process, right? This can now be done in real time, seconds opposed to minutes, okay? And the ability to use tokens not to raise capital, but literally to fractionalize shares of ownership of horses and to provide for that liquidity really opens up a whole new diverse opportunity for investment and allowing other people to get involved. You know, like I said in the beginning, we're trying to modernize racehorse ownership. So there's a lot of different ways you can get into horse ownership right now, and there's traditional syndicates and things like that, but they all have their own downfall. They have their own hurdles that you have to overcome. With Morning Line Club, we're trying to really promote access, and we're trying to get more people involved in the sport, obviously, and you know, reduce those barriers to entry that are naturally there within the industry. And then, of course, the immutable nature of blockchain. When a transaction happens, you can't take it back. It's there. No one's taking it away from you. It's recorded. It can't be altered, right? And then, of course, unlike Amazon AWS or another technology platform, the cost associated for, you know, the cost associated for the trading on these assets is significantly less using blockchain. So specifically, how does it work? I just want to walk through that. So every time you place an order on the MLC marketplace, it's handled by our third-party Liquidity.io's trading platform, or it's a blockchain alternative trading system. And then what happens is those trades, they match the buy and the sell order, okay? Just like a normal stock exchange, whether you know you're looking at Robinhood or anything like that. It matches the buy and sell order, and then using the liquidity transfer agency that we have in place, it transfers those transactions onto Avalanche's C chain. So it's all recorded in real time. It's all there. It's not going anywhere. And truly, we're trying to use technology to transform, revolutionize this game, get more people involved. And honestly, we believe that if we can get the Web3 community or the Web3 communities out there involved in horse racing, it's going to be really good for the sport. And who doesn't want to go? I mean, I know I'm in Argentina, but in the States and worldwide in Europe and things like that, you've got the Kentucky Derby and you've got Breeders' Cup and things like that. These are very big events. A lot of fun to bring the family out to, and an opportunity to really get involved in a new alternative asset class, which is horse racing. So with that, I'll take any questions because I know it's a really unique concept, but yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Joel.
And then, I'll just say real quick too. We've got, if anyone wants a Morning Line Club hat, we've got hats. If you come see Sarah, we got about 7 of them. So, grab a hat. But please, follow us on obviously Instagram, all of our socials, Twitter, X, everything. And then you can go to morninglineclub.com.
Oh, we have one question.
Oh, sure,
right?
Please.
Hi, thank you. Really interesting. And I'm sorry if you covered this at the start. I was a bit late, but where are your horses in the US?
Great question. No, so they'll be racing globally. So if you're, in Ireland, and if you're UK, if you're in the Middle East, if you're in the US, you'll have access. So this is a global platform. The horses, yeah, they'll be racing at all the tracks around the world. Yeah. So just to be very clear, what happens is you buy your entry fee, we get all the capital raised. 60% of that money raised goes to purchasing the horses. 20% goes to taking care of them because they're live breathing animals, so they need to be taken care of. And then 20% to our bottom line. And then every time they run, look, we got 50 horses in the first club, right? You as a participant or an investor, you're going to be able to, because these horses run 6 to 7 times a year, so you're going to be participating in 300 to 350 races from an investment standpoint on a yearly basis. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, and it's, look, Masterworks turned art into a huge alternative asset class, and everybody wants alternative assets now, right? They want to find the new type of investment. They don't want the typical stock market anymore with the 5-6% return on investment. They want bigger returns, bigger risks, and if you invest in the career of a racehorse and you get to the breeding side of things, there are horses that are studying out for or breeding for $30 to $40 million a year. I mean, it's pretty incredible.
Great. We have one more question here.
Please.
Joel, thank you very much for the presentation. Very cool. Very cool idea. So I understand that the big idea is sort of like bringing additional liquidity, right, on the market of trading horses, which is of course big even without that. But then from what I see, sort of, that a lot of the crypto holders, investors, and so on, they are very risk averse, right? So they really like that stuff. So betting on races in crypto sort of sounds extremely obvious. Are you digging somewhere in that direction, also creating a platform or having a partnership with someone? What's your take on that?
Yeah, so we actually believe that the bettors of the world, or we call it the accredited bettors of the world, they would like to. Here's what I'll say: you can only make so much money on a bet of a race. Why? Because the odds, if it's a 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 and the horse wins, you have to bet quite a bit of money to actually make some money on that, right? But let's say now you put in $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in the Morning Line Club, you get to participate in the purse, right? So we've turned those bettors into owners because now you're actually investing in the career of the horse. You have a stake in that horse winning the race much more than what the track is going to pay you, right? Because these purses, by the way, are just getting better and better. So I would say it like that, yeah.
Great. Any other questions? One more here. Right.
Hi, I'm Hannah. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Very interesting concept. Can you please describe how you manage risks, because they're live and they can have broken legs, they can have illnesses, etc., etc.
Yeah, great question. So every single horse that we have on the platform, we have insurance. So we have equine insurance, so mortality, things like that. And so as the investor, right, if we get, God forbid, if something happens to a horse, right, and it has to be euthanized or put down for reasons, we actually share the money that we get on the insurance with the owner and the investor. So really, you never really lose out on the investment because it's we have the insurance on each animal because you're right, it is part of the game.
Great. Well, that's all the time. Oh, we have one more. Okay, one final question.
I'm sorry, final question.
No, please.
Why did you choose just racing, or you can look another side on like polo or something like that, and the competing teams, the horses, because there are a lot of like in Argentina, we have a lot of polo horses, and they like cost a lot. It's like kind of very good investment. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what's really cool about Morning Line Club and what we built underlining the whole platform here is it's very scalable, vertical to different industries, like and not only just horses, but racing and things like that. But like polo horses, we have looked at all of this. I think what we want to do is walk before we run, right? And we want to get involved. We want to prove the concept first properly. And we believe that just looking at the horse racing industry as a whole and how it operates, it just, to me, it lended it so perfectly to a stock market-like approach, right? Because I'll give you this example real quick. So, a stock comes out, right, with earnings, okay, in the earnings report. Then you have Fox News and NBC and everybody coming out with an analysis and saying, oh, this and that. And then you've got all these reports and the stock goes up or down based on public perception of what they think the company's going to do, right? It's the same with horses, guys. Like a horse runs and you got all the analysis and you look at the pedigree, you look at the distance, the turf, the dirt, all these kind of things. And then the analysis comes out and people decide whether or not, or the horse performs, right? Like the earnings report. And there's real money being shared, and then it's the perception of, the investor of, does that horse value go up or down? Because, and that's why we did racing shares versus breeding shares, because we wanted to hedge against not just the racing, but we wanted to use the breeding share as kind of like your future or your option, where the racing shares is your everyday day trading. So we believe that that's kind of, it lent itself so perfectly to the stock market like approach. And I was surprised no one else has done this because I was like, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, this is perfect. It's easy. It works. So but we absolutely were looking to go into different industries, and polo could be one, but we want to prove the concept that it absolutely works for horse racing.
Very, very interesting. Thank you very much, Joel Funk. We'll have a 5-minute break.
Thank you guys so much.